Hello everyone, it is Cameron and today's lesson is the layers of the ocean. So what exactly are the layers of the ocean? Well, there are 5 main layers. These layers, which are also called zones, start from the surface and go to the bottom depths of the ocean where there is no longer any visible light. As you dive deeper, the ocean temperatures decrease and you'll be able to find more unique species of fish. So here's a graphic of the different ocean zones. So the first zone is the sunlight zone, then the twilight zone, midnight zone, the abyss, and the trenches. So the last zone, the 5th layer of the ocean, the trenches, goes as far down as 36,000 feet. So as you can see here, the sunlight decreases rapidly as you go down the zones. The first zone, which is the sunlight zone, obviously contains most of your sunlight. Here you're going to find species of fish that you're going to be most likely familiar with. This is what fishermen are going to catch. These are where you're going to have your ocean mammals. As you go down to the twilight zone, you're going to lose a lot of light. And due to this loss of light, photosynthesis is no longer going to be possible, so you're not going to have those marine plants. You might be familiar with some species that live in this zone, like swordfish and shrimp, but once you get to the midnight zone, there's going to be no sunlight at all. So you're going to have species like the giant squid and the anglerfish. The anglerfish, due to the lack of sunlight, uses bioluminescence, but we will talk about that later in this lesson. So what can you find in this sunlight zone? Well, this zone contains almost all of the sunlight the ocean receives. So here you're going to have the majority of commercial fisheries and protected marine mammals and sea turtles. So this is where you're probably going to be most familiar with all the species. This is what you're going to see from boats when you're fishing, coral reefs. All of those species are going to be in this ocean layer. So why can't sunlight be seen in deep waters? Sunlight isn't that strong. Sunlight has its own frequency, and since the sun is so far away from Earth, it already is not that strong. When the sunlight hits the water particles weakens the strength of the sunlight, causing sunlight to only be apparent in certain ocean layers. So what can you find in the twilight zone? Obviously, twilight zone is a lot deeper than the sunlight zone, so as the intensity of light weakens, is due to the depth increasing. Only a small amount of light penetrates beyond the depth of 200 meters. Here, as I stated before, photosynthesis is no longer possible. So here are some examples of some species you might see in the twilight zone. I get a lot of questions about glow-in-the-dark jellyfish. That's actually not technically correct. These jellyfish are actually bioluminescent, meaning that their DNA causes their ability to emit their own light. Bioluminescence is an alternative way to communicate using light. It is used in the ocean to defend against predators or find and attract prey. And once you get to the deep ocean layers, more than 90% of the animals are luminescent. So this is like the anglerfish. The anglerfish also uses bioluminescence due to its habitat in the deep ocean layers where there is no light. So what can you find in the midnight zone? So the midnight zone is so dark that very few types of life can live in this zone. And due to the darkness and also the pressure from the ocean, biologists are also limited on what they can find. Animals here look almost extraterrestrial. Here are some examples of animals that live in this midnight zone. These two right here are anglerfish, which use bioluminescence, and then these fish as well live in this zone and most likely use bioluminescence. So let's look at these different types of fish. All of these have had to adapt due to where they live. The pufferfish, which lives in coral, and in that coral reef ecosystem has the ability to puff up to protect themselves from predators. Octopus here have the ability to easily grip onto rocks and hunt prey with their tentacles. And then the anglerfish, which lives in the deep ocean layers, uses and has adapted to use bioluminescence to survive. So why is this important? Well, over the course of the Earth, animals and humans have had to adapt to certain environments. And since it's so dark and the pressure in the midnight zone is so intense, we still really don't have any idea what lies beneath the surface of the sun. It is fully possible that there could be thousands of new species or medicine found at the very bottom of the ocean. So, due to the pressure and the lack of light, biologists and scientists have yet to completely explore most of the ocean. Right now, most of our knowledge comes from the first two zones, but as our technology progresses and increases and gets better, there is a great possibility, if almost a certainty, that there are thousands of species that we have yet to discover. So that's it for today's lesson. I hope you enjoy.